And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Integrity Racing League 2021 season opener at Daytona. I'm Jonathan Oates, and joining me today in the broadcast booth is Isaac Johnson once again. Isaac, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing mighty fine. Thank you for asking. I'm just excited to see some racing again.
Absolutely. You join us here with a few minutes left in qualifying at Daytona, although a lot of the drivers have already gone out to set their laps at the moment. It's the 66 of Abby Winters on pole with a 50.58, tied with McCoy in second with a 50.58 as well, although we can get more exact times from our timing and scoring. So the exact difference between the two, Abby Winters with a 50.582 is at the top of the board. Brent McCoy in second with a 50.585. And Nathan Jurgensen third with a 50.589. So a lot of drivers around that 50.58 range. And of course, we have to give a shout out to your league sponsors, Pro Powder and Paint. Pro Powder and Paint is the proud series sponsor of the Integrity Racing League. Established in 2009, Pro Powder and Paint can take care of any and every painting and powder coating need. From restoring cars, let me try that one again. From restoring cars to powder coating fixtures and frames large and small, Pro Powder and Paint has dedicated professionals on hand to take care of all your needs. Feel free to call 804-368-8453 or go to www.propowderpaint.com and get a quote today. Isaac, with a few minutes remaining in qualifying here, like I said, it's Abby Winters at the top of the board. What are you expecting out of not really the rest of qualifying, but more the race that we're going to see tonight?
Probably what we see always at super speedway is just really close pack racing. A lot of these guys probably going to be quite aggressive at the start of this race, although I don't know for sure because I haven't seen these guys on a super speedway yet. But judging by the times, I have a feeling that we're going to see that front five very close together throughout the night.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we're going to see a lot of close racing. I mean, that's pretty much a given when we go to Daytona, but I think that we're going to see people kind of chill out at the start. There's a long way to go, a total of 100 laps. I think that there's enough time to kind of get settled in, get kind of settled into a groove that you don't really need to race super hard early on. You really want to save those 2-3 wide aggressive moves until the end of the race. And at the moment with the field so close, I mean, I have a feeling that a lot of these guys are going to be racing really close together, really stacked on top of each other. One wrong move could send a lot of cars spinning around. So I have a feeling that a lot of it is going to be patience, and a lot of it is going to be being there at the end when it counts. We saw in last night's Daytona 500 that you really just can't be too aggressive when you're in such a close pack, because one wrong move could send cars down to the wall, they could send them into the air. I mean, really, you just got to hold off until the timing is right. Another thing I think is going to be grouping up. I think finding your teammates, whether that be your actual teammates or manufacturer teammates or just friends that you know, I think finding people that you trust and are able to race around and using them to kind of get you up to the front, that is going to be crucial in the race tonight. Just over 2 minutes remaining in qualifying. Isaac, I don't know if you recognize any of the names here, but is there anyone that you can kind of see right now as an early contender to take the win?
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to hold on that, Chief. My iRacing crash. I'm loading back in.
Alright, well, you know what? We're going to let Isaac load back in. Like I said, 2 minutes remaining in qualifying. Still Abby Winters at the top of the board with a 50.58 here at Daytona. Nobody out on track at the moment. Like I previously said, this is the first race of the 2021 Integrity Racing League season. It'll be a 33-race season starting here at Daytona. Next week, we will be at the Daytona Road Course for a 1-hour sprint to the finish. Just a little over a minute remaining in qualifying. Running out of things to say. Let's see if there's anything going on in the chat that we can feed off of. Alright, no there is not. So I'm going to continue to sit here and try and think of things to say.
Kind of excited for the road course race.
Absolutely. I think that we've been seeing a lot of super speedways recently, just kind of a given with the month of February and the real life racing going on. So I'm excited to kind of move away from Daytona, well, we're still going to be in Daytona, but it's going to be a very, very different version of Daytona. I'm very excited to see some other types of tracks out there. Last week we were at Atlanta. We saw tire saving come into play. I don't think we're going to see a lot of that tonight. I think a lot of it is going to be aggressive racing, but still calm racing. You just really got to find that balance. No one else has set a lap. We got a field of about 37 cars on display for you all tonight. 50 seconds remaining in qualifying. You can see the league sponsors scrolling by on the top right of your screen. I'm very excited to get this season kicked off. I think Daytona is always a good place to start off the season because you always just end up with some really intense racing. A lot of times we're going to end up with underdog winners, some surprise, some new faces at the front. But overall, I think it's about momentum. You want to get your season off to a good start. If you miss the field early on, or if you just don't have a very good race, it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the season, and you really want to get started off on the right foot. 16 seconds remaining in qualifying, nobody out on track, so it's looking like Abby Winters in the 66 is going to be taking the pole here at Daytona over Brent McCoy, Nathan Jurgensen, Cody Smith, Alex Daffin, Ryan Zerkut, Ethan Lane, James Hudson, Charles Johnson, and Tom Wetmore. That's going to be your top 10. Qualifying over now, we are going to head over to the race. Like I said, 100 laps, 250 miles ahead of us. If we don't go green for a lot of it, we might be here for a while. So get ready. Find a nice spot to sit down, watch the race. We should be in for a good one tonight. The field's starting to grid up. Isaac, any last-minute thoughts before we get started?
Just want to quickly preface this. Only 21 cars qualified, and looking at the entry list, that's about 2/3. So we got a large chunk of cars in this field, around 30, I believe, if I counted correctly. So this might be a slugfest, and this might just be a giant, really quick race with a lot of fuel strategy, but we don't know, because that's just Daytona.
Yeah, I mean, we actually covered a race at Daytona pretty recently, the VSCRA season opener. I mean, we saw there, the keys to winning that race was just being there at the end and, in a way, getting lucky, not getting caught up in any of the crashes, not getting caught up in anything that wasn't your fault. Being able to hold your line is a big one, too. I think we saw in that series that a lot of people were getting really aggressive early on. I mean, I think of Arnold Columbia, who was at the center of a couple of incidents. I think that you don't want to be that guy who's just kind of moving around a lot. You see the field gridding up now. Abby Winters in that 66 on pole, 100 laps ahead of these drivers tonight to kick off the season. Unlike the VSCRA, though, this series will be live on TMG from now until the finale in Phoenix. So you'll be able to tune in every Monday night.
Because what else do you got to do on a Monday night?
Exactly.
Watch TMG.
There's nothing better to do on a Monday night than watch some virtual, some pixel cars taken to the track. It may not be real racing, but it can certainly be as intense. I think that we're going to see a lot of close racing, a lot of, just a lot of intensity throughout the night. So here we go. The majority of the field has gridded up now. That 66 on pole pace car going to be rolling off here in just a moment. We're going to kick off the 33 race season here in Daytona Beach, Florida. Just waiting on a few more drivers. Lights are out on the top of your screen, so you're going to see the pace car rolling off in just a minute. Here we go. Pace car rolling off, the field behind him.
As Jimmy Brabant once said, the cars are fake, however, the racing is quite real. And I feel like we're going to see that tonight. We might see some 3-wide moves. We might see some 4-wide moves if we're so inclined. But I have a really good feeling about tonight with the way these cars like to run at super speedways, Maybe it won't be like what we saw in Cup yet last night, but, maybe that's a good thing, but who knows? It's Daytona. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to be patient, I think we saw in the Cup Series race last night, a lot of people kind of going single file early on. I mean, with half the distance of a Daytona 500, I don't think that necessarily means you should be twice as aggressive. So, we'll see how this goes. Looking back right now from Abby Winters, you can see these cars skewed slightly to the right. I'm guessing that's to get that rear spoiler out of the air, decrease drag as much as possible. It is a fixed setup series, and with the hole in the air that these cars punch not being quite as much as the Cup cars, I think we're going to see the runs being a little bit less. I think we're going to see everyone being a little bit more tame. That's just the kind of racing you tend to get with these cars at Daytona. They're very stable. They don't get a huge run, but they are still able to put on a show. The field rolling through turns 3 and 4 now. You can see them right here from our third television camera. Pace car right now in the lead, going to hand the field off into the hands of Abby Winters once that pace car takes the left turn into the pit lane. Here we go for the Integrity Racing League 2021 season. We're going to get it kicked off here in Daytona. Here we go. The green flag is out. We are racing in Daytona Beach. Abby Winters going to lead him to green. And a great start by the 29 on the outside lane. Going to get the run down towards turn 1. Brent McCoy alongside Winters. That 18 car is pushing. Down towards turn number 1 for the first time tonight. Brent McCoy going to edge out the lead on the high side. Side by side for a majority of the field there. Side by side for the lead. Down the back straightaway for the first time tonight.
Tom Wetmore abandoned the high side to join the bottom line. He had a nice old gap to jump into, so I have a feeling already that these guys are going to be trying to ditch the high line to get to the low line. As never mind, we got cars jumping back up to the high side, so this is going to be a pretty even fight in terms of numbers here, but numbers is one part of the equation. Driver skill and, of course, experience at places like this is the other half.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've raced against Abby Winters in the past. I know that they're a very, very fast driver. Coming down the front straightaway for the first time tonight, it's going to be Abby Winters leading lap 1. The pole sitter is to the point at Daytona. Now on the high side, you see Jurgensen on the bottom, but that orange and yellow car coming up top. Side by side from row 2 on back, but for the most part, the field's starting to congregate down to the bottom. I think everyone just looking to get in a line early on here. That's Cody Smith on the high side, pushing that outside lane to the front. The 29 of Brent McCoy getting to run down the back straightaway, going to try and clear for the lead, going to 3.
26 car called for the top this time by, so I don't know if he has a teammate around him to let him up high, but...
Yeah, side by side down the front straightaway. Once again, the field's starting to thin out just a little bit. You see that inside line really starting to get organized, starting to come into play. Lap 3 at the line, it's still Abby Winters leading the field back towards turn number 1.
This outside line needs to get in line and start pushing each other if they want to have a hope of keeping up with this inside line.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think first of all, we're going to need more cars up there, but I just don't think it's quite time. I think you want to be a little bit more patient now, just wait it out for a little bit longer, and wait until the end to start making those moves. Down the back straightaway, that high line, though, is starting to get a little bit of momentum. That 29 car and the 18 working strong on the high side, trying to get around Winters on the bottom. Off turn 4 for the 3rd time tonight, Brent McCoy looking to lead his first laps at Daytona, side by side as they come to the line.
This is irrelevant to the race, but a lot of the drivers, since it's lap 3, they're all putting 3 in chat and salute of Dale.
Back towards turn number 1 on lap 4, this time by Abby Winters leading away. That outside line starting to fizzle out just a little bit. The 31 car pushing strong on the inside line. That's Jurgensen trying to give a big shove to the 66 down the back straightaway on lap 4. The inside line with a 3-car breakaway at the front, looking strong early on at Daytona.
Now this outside line's pretty organized and it has a decent amount of cars, so they might be able to keep a little bit of pace in it.
Yeah, absolutely, but that inside line, you see that 3-car breakaway at the front. I think everyone just trying to get organized, like I said, but you see, like you said, that outside line is starting to get some more cars up there. I think they might need someone to hop up from that inside line to really solidify their run, but at the moment, it's looking like that high line might be able to make a charge here. Lap 5 underway. Back towards turn number 1, that 29 car now side by side with the 18 of Cody Smith towards turn 2. And down the back straightaway for the 5th time tonight, Abby Winters leading away. That high line starting to move though. Here comes that 31 car to the outside, looking for a move early on. Everyone kind of shuffling around to the back, but we got some Chevrolets working strong up top. Right now, Abby Winters, the lone Mustang in the lead. It's a swarm of Chevrolets behind. Coming through turns 3 and 4, Jurgensen trying to get a run with McCoy down the front straightaway for the 5th time tonight, trying to lead a lap. They're going to get the run here, but Abby might lead this lap. Yes, he will, but that high line fighting back. Here comes Jurgensen, might have led that lap, actually. Couple of blinkers in the back and a lead to some smoke, but no wrecking. We've kept it clean and green early on, working lap 6 of 100. Isaac, back to you.
My iRacing crashed again. Give me a second.
All right. Well, off turn 2 down the back. Nathan Jurgensen trying to make that run work up top. Abby Winters not blocking on the bottom. Some smoke from behind. A couple of cars going below the yellow line, dropping out. It's perfectly legal if you aren't using it to advance your position. Back towards turns 3 and 4, it's Winters over Jurgensen, who is leading the high line. Down the front straightaway once again. Couple of cars looking to make a 3rd lane up top, but that's going to fizzle out quite quickly. Still Abby and Jurgensen leading at the moment. I went back to that point about manufacturers. I think a lot of these drivers trying to push people in their same manufacturer. And right now, that's not going to help Abby at all because they are the only car out there in a Mustang. The majority of the field in a Chevrolet. Off to, once again, a couple of Chevys and a Supra dropping out down the back. So a lot of guys looking to cycle to the back and maybe try and avoid any wrecks that might happen up front. But everyone's been holding their line very nicely early on. Everyone playing nice, no one being very aggressive, but man, it is wild how many Chevrolets are up there fighting for the lead. Only a handful of Mustangs and Supras sprinkled throughout the field, and that's not going to be good if these guys are looking to work with their manufacturer. But so far, Winters has managed it perfectly. He has led the majority of these opening laps. That 66 car looking fast out front. Through turns 1 and 2 once again. Now that 14 car on the inside line of Johnson coming to the back of McCoy, trying to get a run moving on the inside. For the most part, though, no one really making a move. Everyone just doubled up too wide. Winters getting bumped out of line just a little bit by the 29 of McCoy. Back to turn 3. It's going to give Jurgensen the advantage. That 31 car coming on the high side. Isaac, have you made it back into the sim?
I have, the sim is loading right now. It's 15%, but luckily your Discord stream's keeping me up to date here.
Exactly. See, that's why I do it. Side by side of the line once again, Abby Winters leading the majority of these opening laps, working lap 9 now at Daytona. It's been caution-free, really incident-free so far. Everyone playing nice early on. Green flag pit stop's going to be coming up in about another 30 laps here. I'm guessing that's where people are going to start diving it into the pit lane. We've seen before.
Jonathan,
Yes.
are you aware of the term the commentator's curse?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that progresses. At the moment, it's still Abby Winters in the lead, but here comes Jurgensen on the high side. Big run coming from McCoy. They're going to take the lead with that 3-car tandem up top. That high line able to hold strong with the inside early on here. Coming to lap 10, just about 9% completion at the line. Winters holding on strong in the inside. That battle for the lead continuing side by side as they come off turn 4 and to the line. A little bit of smoke in the back, most of that just netcode. Back towards turns 1 and 2. Abby Winters leading away. Jurgensen on the high line. Side by side for a majority of the field. That 26 car looking to charge up a run from 3rd on the outside line, but that inside line just has the shorter distance around the track and currently has the advantage. A little bit of a bobble in the back happening around the 34 of Trombley. Might have been Todd Thomas on the high side. That 78 Busch car getting a little bit loose, maybe off of a push, but everyone keeps it together. Off turn 4 once again. Abby Winters still leading that inside line. 3 wide. Here comes the 29, or here comes the 26 of Ethan Lane moving up top. Unfortunately, he's going to be left out to dry, so no third line as of yet. He is going to be moving to the back unless someone goes up there to help that 26 car. Blimp cam above the Daytona International Speedway. And yeah, like I just said, that 26 car tried to make a run up there. He's going to try it again, but unfortunately, just no one willing to go with him. Everyone just maybe thinking it's a little too early. But never mind that 1 car of Brad Patton going up to push the 26, trying to get him to the lead here. Coming around to lap 12.
Jonathan, I got 2 bits of good news. A, I'm back in the sim. B, they're 3 wide and the racing's looking good.
That's very good. Off turn 4, back to the front straightaway. Abby Winters leading still over Jurgensen. That third line fizzling out once again. Ethan Lane falling back. Lap 12 underway. For the most part, though, I think everyone just trying to make it to the first cycle of green flag pit stops. Through turns 1 and 2, once again, Winters leading, Jurgensen second on the high line. It's been the same story for the past few laps now. 1 car dropping out of line. That's going to be the, I believe. Yeah, Duell dropping out of line, going to the back. So a lot of drivers just thinking it might be getting a little bit too dicey up front, just falling back early on. I mean, there's been a week of official racing at Daytona now, so I think a lot of these guys kind of have an idea of what they're in for with this kind of 2-3 wide racing. So I think a lot of them might be able to smell trouble brewing before it's actually happening. That's a very good skill to have here at Daytona. We saw it actually save Denny Hamlin in the 500 last night. It might save another driver here. Working lap 13 of 100, Abby Winters still in the lead. So Isaac, so far these guys have been going 2 wide for the most part. No really single file and no really 3 wide. What do you make of the racing so far?
I have a feeling these guys don't really have that fire in their pants yet to either be cautious or just screw it and send it. Although I can see by a couple of these cars' body language further back in the field that they're kind of itching to go 3 wide and
Yeah.
get linked up. There is a bit of chatter over the radio of talking with
Oh, a couple
guys
of
trying to
bit
get
of a
paired up.
smoke in the back. I thought I might have seen a car around, but it looks like that was just netcode. Yeah, you see that one car blinking out in the back. For the most part, everyone keeping it together. Still a full field of 37 cars. Abby Winters at the front, still leading that field of 37 cars. Brent McCoy in second, looking to give him a shove down the back straightaway. For the first time tonight, that inside line starting to maybe get a 2-car breakaway going, but that outside line fights back out the corners. Down the back straightaway, once again, working lap 14, coming to lap 15, this time by. Like you said, I think a couple of drivers just looking to maybe go 3 wide, try and get closer to the front. But at the moment, everyone just playing it safe.
Ooh, we got a peak of 3 wide coming off 4.
It's getting a little bit more dicey. For the most part, though, everyone just holding it in their line. 15 laps green so far. Pit stops coming in about another 20 laps. That might be the first sign of trouble brewing as we get a couple of cars peeling off into the pit lane.
Jonathan, my game crashed again.
Oh, no. Well, tonight is not a good night to be Isaac Johnson's iRacing because it has been crashing over and over again. Far more crashes than we've seen in the race. Off 2 and down the back once again, headed for turn 3. That 29 car now helping the inside line try and break away here. It's a 2, maybe 3 car clearage on the inside line. But Jurgensen looking to fight back up top, and now there goes Patton to the high side. McCoy going to jump out of line as well. Winter's going to be left out to dry, and for the first time all night, people starting to get a little bit dicey at the front. It's going to be the 29 of Brent McCoy leading him that time by. Going to drop back down low. 2, 3 wide at the front. There's our first sign of trouble. That 1 car going out wide. They're going to be 3 wide behind. New leader, the 29 of McCoy over Jurgensen.
Oh, wait, I can just load back in the sim. Yay, it didn't do that again. I'm back, boys.
Nice. Alright, so a bit of an admittal of personal fault here. I forgot to get any water for myself, so Isaac, I'm going to let you take over here. I'm going to send you over to, I think, TV1. That'll be good. You can take over for a bit, and I'm going to be right back once I've had some water and my voice isn't on the verge of death. I'll be right back.
Well, we got the 18 car Smith leading a small 2-car tandem on the outside, coming down the short chute into turn 1 here. They're 2x2x2 further on back. This outside line's going to try and get organized as the 1 car of Patton's slowly pulling up to the front car duel here as they're coming off turn 2 now. Still green flag racing all the way around. What you like to see, folks, what you like to see. We still got some pretty clean racing on the inside line, just mainly guys just bumping each other, trying to get each other a little bit of a run here and there, you know, help out your teammates, help out your manufacturer buddies, but just trying to tick these laps down mainly and just get these cars closer and closer to that finish so they can have an opportunity to just start sending it on people and making these moves we are so fond of when it comes to Daytona International Speedway here. As the outside line's got a formidable charge now going down into turn 1.
I'm seeing 3 wide. I saw that 1 car look to the high side. I thought something might have been brewing there. But like you said, at the moment, I think we're really just trying to tick some laps away. Working lap 18 of 100, nearing 20% completion. Down the back, a couple of guys looking out of line, maybe trying to get some air on the nose. Don't want to have an overheating issue here at Daytona. Brent McCoy on the high side. Big push coming from Ethan Lane. Sorry, that's Cody Smith on the high side with a push from Ethan Lane. Off turn 4 for the 18th time tonight. Back to the start-finish line. It's gonna be McCoy leading him down. Back to the start-finish line. Still 2 wide. No one looking 3. And that outside line starting to fizzle out just a bit.
Okay, update again. I have loaded back into the sim again, so I don't know how long it'll be before it inevitably crashes again, but...
Well, let's hope that it's not long. Or very long. I think I phrased that incorrectly. Side by side for second. Never mind. That 31 car of Jurgensen looking... Oh! 3 wide. Everyone jostling around. This is getting a little bit sketchy. That outside line starting to fizzle out. Now here comes the 78. Big run on the high line. Jurgensen for the lead with Lane. That got very sketchy down the back.
Ethan Lane tried to peek it, make it 4 wide there for a split second. Made a good, wise decision and back out of it.
Yeah, that definitely could have ended a lot worse, but to the lead goes Nathan Jurgensen. Now Ethan Lane looking to charge up around to the high side. Big push coming from Patton. That got very sketchy, nearly a bumper hook there. 3 wide about row 4. Side by side for the lead once again.
Nick Trebert, I believe is how you say his name, is the 4 car. He was stuck in the middle for a moment there, but luckily he has found himself a gap and is now back on the outside line. As we got a 2-car tandem of the 18 of Cody Smith, dropping back a bit to the end of this outside line heading into turn 3.
Yeah, Cody Smith got shuffled to the back there in a little bit of a 3 wide situation. Now they're side by side for the lead. It's Nathan Jurgensen on the inside of Ethan Lane on the high line. These two looking to be strong towards this middle part of the race. But like I said, green flag pit stops coming up in just a bit. I'm thinking about 15 more laps before these guys are going to have to start diving it into the pit lane. Another factor is the sun is actually going down, and that's going to cool down the racetrack. We're going to get a lot more grip, and I think that the intensity might start to pick up as the sun goes down. Side by side for second, but a bit of a 2-car breakaway at the moment. Nathan Jurgensen leading. Now that high line getting a run down the back.
4 cars stuck in the middle again.
Yeah, that 4-car going to the back, but he's going to be back in the middle now. So not really getting shuffled to the back there, like I said. Side by side throughout a majority of the field, that 4-car blinking out just a little bit. Now the 78 looking to get a run from outside row 5. But at the moment in the lead, it's still Ethan Lane with a big push coming from Patton. He's going to dive low and cover off that inside line.
Hey, Jonathan, guess what?
Did your iRacing crash again?
Yep.
Welp, not a great day to be Isaac Johnson. Down the back straightaway, the sun's starting to set at Daytona. Ethan Lane leading over Brad Patton on the high line. Jurgensen pushing the inside line. It's been getting dicey here at the front for just a little bit. I'm surprised we haven't seen more drivers dropping out and going to the back. Green flag pit stop still coming up on the horizon.
Ooh, big block there.
He's getting a little bit more aggressive at the front. Ethan Lane, though, still holding on over Jurgensen. To the line on lap 23 of 100.
And it doesn't really look like it, but these guys are quite calm.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to say the same thing. No one's really making any really risky moves. Everyone just kind of playing it safe, although we did just see a big block there out of the 26 of Lane moving back down to the bottom to cover off the low line that stacked up the 29 into the nose of Abby Winters, but they all kept it straight. Through turns 3 and 4, Ethan Lane with a push from the 29 of McCoy. Haven't talked about him in a while, but McCoy working his way back into the picture. Everybody kind of scrambling around to the back. There's quite a lot of room to move here at Daytona, especially with this package, with the runs not being quite as big. And 3 wide. There goes the 1-car looking up high, but he's going to duck back in line. Lap 24 underway now. The sun continuing to set. The lights are going to be coming on here in just a moment. Rocketing down the back straightaway is the field led by Ethan Lane. Now Brent McCoy looking high and back low. Gonna fake out the 26 and take the low line with a push from Winters. McCoy trying to take the lead on the inside. Isaac, over to you.
Guess they heard my call to be calm and decided they wanted to be a bit more aggressive than that. The 29 car of McCoy just threw a mean, deceptive, almost, I guess you could make the term breaking his ankles there going down the back straightaway. Fake tie, went low, then back high, then back low. It's a very risky move with these cars with how high the center of gravity can be at times, and can make it very hard to control and spin out.
Yeah, I mean, I think just the weight shift of going left to right so abruptly can kind of unsettle you, and if not spin you around, just get you a little bit loose. But McCoy able to make that move with relative ease. He's going to be leading the field down the back and headed to 3. Great move by McCoy to take away the lead here. I think we're going to see a lot of passes being made that way. Ethan Lane, though, fighting back in the high side with Jurgensen Winters, second on the inside row, side by side throughout the entirety of the field, but still nobody making it 3 wide just yet, although that high line starting to drift up off the corner. With the little amount of downforce that these Xfinity cars have, it wouldn't surprise me if the handling started to be an issue for these guys, if maybe they started to get a little bit tight or loose off the corners. I have a feeling it's not going to be anything these guys can't handle, though. I mean, we've got some of the best sim racers in the business right now battling it out up front. Side by side for the lead, McCoy and Lane, side by side. McCoy, though, is still trying to make that inside line work. We're still inching up on green flag pit stops, and I'm really worried about how they're going to shake out. They can be sketchy in cars with a lot more downforce. They can certainly be sketchy in these Xfinity cars.
Yeah, it's just going to be mainly down to communication here, and I wish I was still in the sim because I was able to listen to the radio chatter and hear these guys when they were going to be calling to pit. But unfortunately, we're just going to be having to see who ducks down, and unfortunately, if we will know if there was a green flag pit stop, if there was a wreck on pit road.
I mean, I would actually be able to go in there and unmute the voice chat, so I might do that once we get closer to green flag pit stops, get an idea of what these guys are thinking. You can see, though, the sun's starting to go down. The lights are on at Daytona. The track, a nice orange color as we go down the back straightaway and towards turn 3 and 4. McCoy leading over Lane on the high side. Winters third. Jurgensen fourth. You are watching the Integrity Racing League on TMG. Lap 27 of 100. Getting closer to about a third of the way through. Like I said, I'm guessing that fuel window is going to be around lap 30, or at least that's when it's going to open. But with everyone braking hard on the brakes to get into the pit lane, I'm thinking that we might see a caution around that fuel window as well. And that would bail out a lot of guys who decide to stay out just that little bit longer. We've seen in the past in real-life Daytona racing that green flag pit stops can be treacherous if you're not careful with them. Big runoff, too, here for the 66 of Abby Winters. Haven't talked about him much since he got cycled to the back, but now he is hooked up with that 14, working on the back bumper of Brent McCoy on the inside line. Abby might be looking to make a move here. There's certainly enough space through the middle if that's where he wanted to go. Coming to lap 29 of 100. I'm guessing these guys are going to want to make it to around lap 35 before they come into the pit lane, because that would allow them to two-stop the race. You don't want to come in too early, because ideally... Oh, 3 wide in the back. Everyone's starting to shuffle just a little bit. For the most part, though, that's fairly spread out, and they're going to cycle back to 2 wide, so no issues there. That was Michael Dewell on the inside. A lot of the field getting checked up, but for the most part, a very fluid race going on. Everyone having a lot of space to move around. Those green flag pit stops, though, they're going to be starting soon. You can't avoid them forever. I think a lot of these guys might be hoping to get bailed out by a caution here. Looking back from the number 29 of Brent McCoy, this is getting a little bit more sketchy at the front. I think people are starting to get a little bit racier as we get towards those green flag pit stops, but in the end, everyone's going to need to cycle back down to the bottom. You can't pit from the second lane. We saw in the 2019 Daytona duels how badly that can go. You wouldn't want to see something like that again.
You never know at Daytona, but yeah, this outside line's going to need to do something here quick if they're going to have any hopes of pitting on that roughly 35, 36 lap fuel window here, but they might just try and stick it out for a lap and hopefully save enough to where they could just roll it back into the pits.
Yeah.
And stay out a lap for when the inside line probably pits.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm thinking right now that in a 100-lap race, you know, if you want to do it on a two-stop, you're going to need to stop, like I've said, around lap 35, because you don't want to make it 30. You don't want to make it lap 30 and split it, you know, 3 ways. That's one extra pit stop that you don't want to make. So it's right around that lap 30 range that I think we're going to be looking at people making some pit stops. You want to go a little bit longer, by the way, than exactly 1/3 of the way through, because then you put yourself in a situation where you kind of have to save fuel on that last run. So I'm guessing just after lap 30, or 33, that pit window is going to open. We've seen in the past it's just around lap 33, 34, 35, 37. Just kind of depends on how much fuel you have left.
Now, Jonathan, I want to make a little, maybe not a wager, but I just want to ask you a neat little question here. Do you really think they're going to make it through 2 green flag pit stops to the end?
I mean, I think it's definitely possible. I think that with these cars being as stable as they are and with these drivers being as good as they are, I mean, I think that it's definitely possible that we're going to see a green race to the end here. But I'm not saying that it's certain. I think that, you know, one car getting a little bit loose, just tapping the apron or drifting up a little bit too far, that could kick things off. That could kick off an absolutely massive wreck. So, really, one mistake, and we are not going to get to 2 green flag pit stops, but it's definitely possible, and I think that I mean, if any of these guys have crew chiefs, if I was crew chiefing one of these guys, I would definitely be considering the possibility that we are going to go green until the end. Not saying it's likely, though. Definitely not likely. down the back straightaway on lap 32 of 100. That third lane maybe starting to form up here. You saw a couple of guys hopping out of line. That 18 car looking to get back towards the front, but everyone going to cycle back down to 2 wide.
I have a bad feeling about these pit stops coming up.
Yeah, I think that this might not end well. This definitely might... it's going to get sketchy. That's all I'm going to say. 3 wide. You see that one car of Patton making the high line work. Not going to have any help, though. He's going to have to duck back in line. Lap 33, I believe the fuel window is going to blow open just about now. Brent McCoy still leading over Ethan Lane. Isaac, back to you.
That one car has been routinely the one trying to lead the charge on that third lane, trying to get it going, but he just can't really get a friend up there, or at least a couple cars just follow him at least. But I mean, my money's on him to win this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it comes down to it and he's in the lead pack, he's going to be the guy to make that aggressive move for the win. Working lap 34, I'm guessing the communication now is starting to start here about when to pit. Isaac, are you back in the sim, and have you heard anything over the radio?
Oh, I haven't even attempted to load the sim back up.
You know what? Hey, if there's ever a chance to give it another shot, it's right now as they go 3 wide around the middle of the pack, almost 4 wide. That 4 car stuck in the middle. Everyone's shuffling around. This could get dicey, but everyone holding their line. That's Nick Terabuk stuck in the middle. Now the 18 of Cody Smith going to shoot the middle. That 51 of Wetmore falling back. And we're around lap 34. Green flag pit stops are coming up soon. I've got a feeling. And there goes that 1 car back to the high side. Patton, still no help.
Come on, somebody go with them. Let's make this thing real interesting.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, the racer in me is saying, go, try and make a move, get to the front, but on the other hand, I mean, I think that it's just still a little bit too early to make those moves, and especially with green flag pit stops just around the corner, I think that people are going to need to try and cycle back into single file. Like I said, you cannot pit from the outside line.
Unless you're Quinn Half.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're Quinn Half or Ryan Blaney, it's possible, but in both those cases, someone else ended up getting wrecked. The sun almost fully set at Daytona. The sky about to go dark. We're going to go night racing here in the Integrity Racing League season opener. 1 car dropping out and going to the back. Maybe just trying to stay behind everyone when those pit stops kick off. I have a feeling it's going to be around this time that people are going to try and make it in here. We'll see if everyone tries to cycle it down. I mean, they might even try and push it to lap 40. But I think we're already starting to push the limits. Here we go. Everyone's staying in line at the moment. Everyone's playing it nicely.
They're going to be either this lap or next lap. Lap 36 or 37 is when they're going to be throwing it down pit road here.
Yeah, for the most part, 37's kind of been that lap where everyone just has to make the pit stop then, and I think you're seeing right now a couple of guys starting to cycle down to the inside line. I mean, if you're stuck on that outside line, there's not much you can do, but wait for everybody on the inside to pit so that you have a clear shot down to the inside. Working lap 36 of 100, and I think it's going to be this time by that people start diving it in.
Yeah, it might be it, because these guys are starting to space each other out, give each other room for braking, but really won't know until about now. Really, no takers.
Yeah, no one coming in yet. I mean, maybe they'll push it to around lap 30, around lap 40. I mean, really, I'm just basing this off of what I've seen in the Cup car at Daytona, what we saw at the VSCRA race. I haven't really had too much experience in the B car. I mean, it's possible that someone's going to try and one-stop it, but that's going to be very optimistic. And by the way, I do think that if they did one-stop it, I'm not even sure if it would be entirely worth it, because you would need someone else to do it with you. And the chances of being able to make it to the end off of a one-stop, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be possible, but I think someone's going to try it. We'll see. Coming to lap 37, maybe this time by, people are going to try it.
I see lap 40 as being optimistic. You would have to be going super slow here if you want to try and make it to lap 40, or 50, sorry. No takers again?
Yeah, but you can see that inside line starting to form up here, so I think everyone's trying to find their way to the bottom. I've got to imagine they're getting close this time by.
We're going to see some cars potentially stall here.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a possibility. You don't want to run out, you definitely don't want to run out of, hold on. You definitely don't want to run out of fuel at Daytona in a pack. That is quite possibly the worst place to run out of fuel. You see everyone kind of cycling around here, kind of looking below that yellow line. 1 car shooting out to the top. But with everyone in the line, I think this time by they're gonna come in. They're gonna come on in. All right, here we go. Off turn 4. Anybody looking? Still out. Lap 38. No takers.
You might be right on that lap 40 thing.
Yeah, I mean, they might try and make it 40, 80, 100. I mean, it's definitely possible. They might be accounting for a couple of green-white checkers as well. But now that inside line's starting to spread out even more. I think people... something's got to be happening here. Because I don't think that you can push it much longer. There's a huge column of cars on the inside line. And I think it's going to be sketchy because they're all going to have to come at once. And I think that is when something is probably going to go wrong. We'll see, though. If there's ever a time for a caution, it's going to be now. And if a caution comes out around green flag pit stops, that's not good. Because you've got to make it all the way around. And if you were already pushing it on fuel, you might just run out under yellow. We'll see if anyone comes in this time by.
To think too, McCoy, he's got to be the worst off here since he's been leading the thing. But yeah, okay, I guess lap 40, 41-ish. But
okay, yeah, we're pushing it to lap 40. Everybody's been out this entire time. I mean, maybe they'll try and make it to 50. I don't know, but you're kind of ending up in a range where you're gonna have a really short final stint, and I'm not sure if that's what people really want to do here. We'll see though. Off turn 2, down the back, it's going to be a lot of cars coming when they do come. And we'll see if anyone at the back of the field is going to try and make it to lap 50. They might have been saving fuel this whole time. It's a stack of cars. Here we go. I don't know, I've just got a feeling that this is going to get messy with that many cars stacking up and bringing it into the pit lane. We'll see, though. Front of the field. We're staying out again. No, Abby Winters in. And that's going to be a huge mistake for Abby Winters, the only car into the pit lane. That 66 car going to be left out to dry when we go back green. But it might be a big break for them if there ends up being a caution. Because a lot of these guys might be trapped. Uh-oh. All right, well, now we're going 3 wide around green flag pit stops. And that is probably not going to work out, but we'll see. I'm just worried about that 26 car, or that 29 car. I don't know if he can make it much further. We'll see if anyone brings it in this time by. I mean, I might be grossly off on the fuel estimate, but I have a feeling that they've got to pit soon. And with this many cars staying out this long, I mean, I just don't know.
Jumping down off the line like that looked more reactionary than proactive. I almost wonder if he got a bad bump or if the inside line choked up and had nowhere to go and decided to just throw it down pit road here. Yeah, they're staying out.
Here we go. A couple of takers. A big pack of cars coming in, led by the 26 of Ethan Lane. Michael Dwell in as well. A couple of guys locking it up. But for the most part, we've got our first takers for green flag pit stops at Daytona, led by the 26 of Ethan Lane. We'll see what they decide to do in terms of tires. Everybody,
it's gonna be gas only.
That might be it. We'll see if any. Oh, right side's going up for a couple of guys here. They might have enough time to do it while they're fueling. And one car completely missed his pit stall, having to drive through the field. Left side's going up as well. 4 tires and fuel for the field. They're gonna roll it out now. But I'm guessing a couple of these guys are gonna be stuck with speeding penalties. You see right there, the 57 having to wait on pit road. Actually, no, he's gonna be fine. So your next cycle gonna be coming in this time by. Here they go. Led by Brent McCoy into the pit lane, about 5, 6, 7 cars bringing it down. Everybody making it in safely.
Now a caution here would really mix things up for these guys and a lot of headache.
And if it came out at the wrong time, it could end up with some guys running out of fuel under yellow. Brent McCoy bringing it in. One driver missing his stall as well. You never like to see that. Brent McCoy, right side's up for the driver of the number 29. Left side's going up as well. The field rolling out now, but a very successful cycle of pit stops. Now the rest of the field going to be led down by Charles Johnson. It's been a successful round of pit stops so far. We'll see if they manage bringing it in. Johnson staying out, but the rest of the field bringing it in for pit stops here at Daytona. A couple of cars going 3 wide entering the pit lane. That 18 car stuck on the inside. But for the most part, a very clean stop. Very clean entrance for most of these guys. Oh, what's up, Isaac?
On pit road. Almost had a wreck on pit road with, I believe it was the 10 car and the 48, or it might have been in the 18 machine.
Yeah, but see, now we've ran into the issue where Charles Johnson is going to be out on his own, and that is never something you like to see at Daytona. So about 4 cars did not come in last time by. Alex Daffin into the pit lane as well, going to be in that pack of cars coming out of the pit lane. A big scramble getting out onto the racetrack, but no speeding penalties. Everyone made it in safely. They're going to have to get single file here going onto the apron, but a very successful round of green flag stops on lap 40 to 44. Now Charles Johnson bringing it in from the lead. We'll see how he fares with his pack of 4 cars.
Johnson's actually not as bad as off as we thought. He came in a lap later and still had a few cars with him, so he might not be too terribly off here. He might be able to trail the end of the first pack that pitted.
I'm seeing left sides only for the 14. Left side's going up, left side's going down, right side's going as well. No, it's going to be left sides only for Charles Johnson. A very interesting strategy call. That might have been the call for all of them because I believe they all went out around the same time. So looking at the field, it's going to be Nathan Jurgensen leading this small pack. Ethan Lane leading the small pack. We got a 3-car tandem at the front. 4 cars in the pit lane. We'll see if Charles Johnson in that 2-tire call is going to get in the lead here. But with left sides only, that might make the car handle a little bit weird. Never mind. The 26 of Ethan Lane going to inherit the lead, a 3-car breakaway at Daytona on lap 45.
Yeah, but these guys are on the same. These guys are all on the same lap, and Johnson's leading a bigger pack, so he might be able to catch up fairly quickly as these guys are starting to race here.
Ethan Lane dropping out, maybe moving back to save fuel. Brent McCoy leading a very big pack coming off turn number 2. So just kind of switching to our aerial cam here, a bit of a scramble behind 3 wide, getting around the slower cars. Everyone making it work, though. At the moment, I'm getting very kind of 2000s Daytona 500 vibes. You know, we got a couple of car breakaways, mostly single file, but a lot of strong racing and strategy going on. Your next pit stop's going to be coming around lap 88 towards the end of this race. So looking at the division at the moment, Nathan Jurgensen leading a 3-car pack, Brent McCoy leading a 4-car pack, that's going to be, I believe, Lee Pierce. We haven't talked about him all race, leading a much bigger pack, and I have a feeling they're going to be the fastest at the moment.
Yeah, Pierce is kind of leading the charge on these 2 smaller packs, but if these 2 smaller packs get linked up, you know, it might be able to break itself away from this really big pack here, but yeah, I don't know if that's going to be happening.
Yeah, you can see already Lee Pierce running down that smaller pack. I mean, we've seen this in countless Daytona races where they make it to green flag pit stops. You kind of separate the field a bit, but in the end, everyone gets bunched back up. And at the moment, with them all going single file, I have a feeling that their main goal right now is to get caught back up with the leaders. With single file at Daytona on lap 47, approaching halfway here in the Integrity Racing League 2021 season opener at Daytona. And you know what, Isaac? I'm thinking we steal a little bit from NASCAR on Fox. Why don't we go ahead and crank it up?
I think that's a wonderful idea.
And 3 wide for the lead already. A lot of cars getting bunched up here after those packs separated. 1 car getting shot out of line to the high side. They are 3 wide for the lead. 3 wide now for third. A few rows deep. We're going to unmute Isaac. Isaac, welcome back to the booth. 3 wide up front, back down to 2 wide. Everyone getting it sorted out. But Tom Wetmore is going to take the lead with Jurgensen moving to the high side. The intensity starting to pick up. I might still oh, yeah, okay, hold on. Sorry, my hotkey didn't work. Isaac was still deafened, but he's back. Isaac, welcome back to the booth. They are 3 wide around row 7. For the most part, they're double file. Isaac, what do you make of this racing?
They're starting to get antsy. I called it about halfway through this race. These guys are going to start being a little bit more proactive in their moves, you know, a bit less cautionary, a bit less patient.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
start wanting to lead some of these laps that are ticking down.
Absolutely. I mean, a four-car tandem is never going to be faster than a big pack when you have the amount of drag that these cars do. You know, it's not like in the Gen 4 era when the cars were very streamlined. They could really cut through the air. These are big, boxy Xfinity cars. They cannot cut through the air. They probably slam into the air and punch a big hole behind it, regardless of how big the splitter or spoiler is. So a four-car tandem is never going to be faster than a big pack, and I think we just saw the effects of that. Too wide for the majority of the field up front, working lap 50 of 100 with a pack of lap cars in the way. Headed towards turn 3 now. It's going to be Tom Wetmore leading the way, but I have a feeling, I mean, I don't know how much longer they can go like this side by side, especially with the grip starting to heat up, the moves starting to pick up. I have a feeling that we might see our first caution coming soon, but if not, that's going to be 2 races in a row that we have gone caution-free.
Commentator's curse.
I don't know about it. We'll have to find out.
I mean, hey, if you're not wrong, that's fantastic. But I'm just saying, if there is a wreck, it's on you.
Well, if there is a wreck, I know one thing, it's going to be big. I mean, you've got a lot of cars here, you've got a lot of them bunched up, a lot of them looking 3 wide. One car getting turned here could spell disaster for the field, so we'll end up seeing how this works. Meanwhile, update on Abigail Winters. He has absolutely fallen to the back, currently P29 in that number 66 Mustang in a 5-car pack at the back. A disastrous turn of events for the 66. Back up at the front, why don't we take a look at what it looks to be like in a pack of cars here at Daytona. Let's go ahead and go on board with the number 9 of John Pylon. I mean, you can see right there, you just don't really have many places to go. You've got your eyes locked on that car in front of you. You can't push him, you can't really do much. You're just kind of waiting for a hole to open up, a space for you to go. At the moment, everyone just having to be patient. You can see those lap cars up in the distance. The lights have come on here at Daytona. We are working just over halfway. Brad Patton in the number 1 car has taken the lead from the outside line. New leader at Daytona, and for the first time tonight, it's that 1 car.
He's my pick.
My pick? Off the tri-oval and into turn number 1, Brad Patton leading away over Michael Duell, who dropped back early on. He's back up into 2nd. Brent McCoy to 3rd, and Tom Wetmore in 5th. But it's going to be Ethan Lane in 4th. Meanwhile, Duell making a move to the high side. You can see those lap cars coming up on the left-hand side of your screen. The field just bunching up to the high side to avoid them. A couple of guys, though, going to stay down low, going to get the draft off those 2 cars. They're going to have to slot back in line, though. That got very sketchy for a moment of the number 80 of Chris Ryan. And that's right there is why the lap cars should always go high and not low.
Yeah, I mean, if there is going to be a wreck, this is probably the best, well, not the best, but this is probably the prime time for a wreck to happen, with a couple of lap cars trailing into the mix and not being on the right line for where some of these drivers would probably want them. But, yeah, it seems to be where, oh, never mind.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit sketchy there. That 88 car, Michael Duell, looking up high, side by side for the lead. That high line with Ethan Lane is coming. Side by side on lap 54 of 100. That inside line, not able to get the run off the corners that high line does. Side by side, I think that Ethan Lane's going to have the advantage here off 4. To the line this time by working lap 54, coming to lap 55 of the Integrity Racing League season opener at Daytona. More lap cars, by the way. They're going to have to crowd up the track once again. They're going to have to split the middle there. It's getting a little sketchy. One wrong batch of netcode, and it could all go wrong for these guys, but they're leaving enough room. Okay, that got a little too close for comfort. But up front, they were all able to make it through.
Jonathan?
Yes.
Weren't you the guy that said they were probably not going to wreck?
Yeah. For the lead, though, Ethan Lane going to be on the high side. You know, Isaac, to your point, I did say they were not going to... Oh, no. Okay, I'm just going to stop talking. Oh, okay, this is getting bad. 1 car on the apron. He's going to save it. They're scrambling. The 14 car goes high. That 78 going to the back. But everybody keeps it straight. Ethan Lane up front. Isaac, every time I've said something, everything has gone horribly wrong. I'm going to let you take over for a second here. I'm going to get a drink of water, and maybe when I come back, they're going to not wreck. I'll be right back.
Okay, well, we got two three-car tandems splitting off down in here into turn one. We got Ethan Lane leading one, followed by the 51 of Wetmore, and the 29 of McCoy on the inside is leading a pretty sizable charge as the number one of Patton, my pick for the win, by the way, if you haven't already assumed that, is going to be on the outside here. It's going to have the 31 of Jurgensen following him. We got another two-car tandem further back, trailing the outside line. They didn't drop down, probably because they're working together, and the back guy could not be cleared down low, as they are going to be charging their way up and trying to connect with this three-car tandem up front here. The inside line has now amassed a very decent assembly of cars here going down into turn one. Same as the outside. It's actually a pretty even draw coming off turn two here.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, first of all, I'm glad to come back and see that they're not all wrecked. I was very worried that I might have actually cursed the race. But down the back straightaway, it's Ethan Lane leading. Doesn't look to have any lapped cars in sight, so we might be able to sell down here for a bit, but that got very sketchy indeed. With the 78 hitting the apron, getting sideways, and everyone having to avoid him. But in the end, they got it sorted out, and at the front, it is still one of the fastest cars we've seen all day. Ethan Lane leading away at Daytona. Off turn 4, coming to the line, it's going to be Ethan Lane leading that lap over Wetmore and McCoy. McCoy on that inside line, trying out a new camera angle here. Down through turns 1 and 2, that high line with Tom Wetmore going to get a run here. That inside line may be fizzling out just a little bit. Couple of strong cars up top, couple of strong cars down low. Pretty even race so far from what I'm seeing.
Wetmore's got a very, very aggressive pusher behind him, doing a fantastic job of keeping that outside line moving.
Yeah, that inside line, I mean, it's got a lot of strong cars, but that outside line is getting a lot more grouped up than the inside. They're starting to fizzle out there. That inside line back to the point. Ethan Lane going to go up to block Wetmore, and that inside line now in the hands of Brent McCoy. Off the tri-oval and headed for 1-3 wide. Watch for Patton on the high line. He's going to fall back, though.
Back here. Same story when he's on the outside line. He just doesn't have friends.
Yeah, it didn't work out for him. He's going to be dropping to the back. There's a bit of a spot here for him to drop in front of the 07 of Eric Crow, but he is not going to take it. He is cycling right to the back. By the way, I haven't even noticed Eric Crow in this race so far, but that's a very nice paint scheme he's got. Well done, Eric Crow. I very much like your paint scheme. All right, back up front. Ethan Lane still in control over Brent McCoy, but they are side by side racing aggressively, coming to lap 60 of 100. Green flag pit stops coming up in about 17-20 laps. We'll see how it fizzles out here. But to the line, we're going to have 21 laps remaining, and I just heard lap cars in the distance. You can see them there going to turn number 1.
Lap car 2, Electric Boogaloo. We'll see how it runs out. Last time it didn't fare too well.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen even in the Coke series where if you get too aggressive racing around a lap car, it does not end well. I mean, I personally have raced in a couple of plate races here on iRacing. Countless incidents have been caused by lap cars. Now, I trust the guys here a lot more than I do the guys in official races, but it can get very sketchy when you have a high-speed pack of cars approaching just a couple of cars that are way off the pace. We'll go on board here with the number 29 of Brent McCoy, taking a look as he leads that outside line. Or inside line, sorry. You can see just very smooth on the wheel, holding his line, not hitting that apron. The lights are the lights are on at Daytona. The sky is dark. We are night racing in Florida.
This camera really doesn't do a great job of displaying the utter chaos that is behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, here's a camera that might do a better job. I can go ahead and pull some broadcasting tricks. I think I'm going to go to the roll bar view, hop on over to the actual iRacing tab, enter the camera feature, and we can go ahead and look around. As Brent McCoy leads that inside line, you can see all bit of a netcode smoke there. They're going to be 3 wide for the lead. McCoy trying to cover off the outside line. It's getting sketchy at Daytona. Its business is absolutely picking up.
Here's those 2 lap cars. They're making a much better decision this time around. They're hanging on the wall, giving these guys plenty of room to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a smart idea of the lap cars to stay high so that they don't have to crowd up the racetrack. But you saw there, Brent McCoy just making a couple of bad blocks, lost the lead to Ethan Lane and Michael Dwell on the inside. Now those lap cars going to take it 3 wide. The 80 car getting loose off turn number 4. Or turn 2 rather, but everyone keeping it straight. We have still gone green for 62 laps out of 100 here at Daytona. Ethan Lane leading away over Michael Dwell. That Highline's trying to mount a charge back at the front, but Brent McCoy made a couple of bad decisions in the lead, and that cost him.
Michael Dwell has a very interesting logo on that C-pillar.
What's the logo on the C-pillar?
It's quite familiar looking. I don't know if you would get a look at it.
Well, I'm going to take a guess from that it's a TMG logo. Now, unfortunately, they are going at over 200 miles an hour, so it's a little bit difficult to get an exact look at what's going on in the quarter panel.
It's a TMG logo.
It's a TMG logo. We've got representation on the cars. But here we come off turn 2. Michael Dwell on that inside line. Well, now I have to root for him to win because he's got a TMG logo. Just kidding. We're not allowed to pick favorites. Down the back straightaway, Ethan Lane leading over Brent McCoy on the high line. On that inside line, though, Dwell still trying to give a shove to the 26, headed to turn 3. It's getting sketchy. Dwell slid up the track a little bit. Yeah, and Brent McCoy's back to the lead.
Pretty good move there. Got to run on the high side and drop down in front of Lane.
This is not a very good camera angle. Just basically looking at the bumper of that 26 car as he gives him a shove down the front straightaway. Lap 64 underway. So, Isaac, after 64 laps done at Daytona, who are you picking out to be your competitors for the win here?
Well, obviously, McCoy and Lane are going to be the top 2 here, as they've been the ones dogfighting most of this night. But honestly, still got to go with my pick from originally, the 1 car, Patton.
Yeah, I mean, that 1 car is definitely pretty aggressive, able to get to the front, but I think Ethan Lane is definitely going to have a decent shot at it here. I mean, I've seen him control a lot of the lanes, pun intended, throughout the majority of the night here, and I think Ethan Lane, he just overall has a strong car, he's a good driver, and I'm going to pick him to win the race here at Daytona, coming around lap 65 of 100. For the most part, everyone just kind of chilling out at the moment, I think waiting until we get to that next lap car. Headed towards turn number 1 once again, still side by side, no one really able to make a move. I don't really see anybody getting organized at the moment for the most part. I mean, it's just Chevrolets throughout the field. It's kind of hard to pick out manufacturer teammates when everyone's pretty much in the same manufacturer. Highest run.
Sorry about that, but one of the things I wish I could wholly block from the
yeah.
26 of Ethan Lane. But
that was big. That was big. If that was later in the race, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely certain that he wouldn't have gotten wrecked.
But what I was going to say was, unfortunately, I can't confirm this.
Load up the sim. Sorry, I need to cut you off here because Michael Dwell's getting crowded up the track. Nearly got put 3 wide in the middle. 1 car going around.
One wrecking. Oh,
they're wrecking off turn 2. Off the trial, but we might have a caution here. We're staying green though. Everyone kept it out of harm's way.
Rolling.
Yeah, we're gonna stay green, and I don't entirely blame the admins. After all, the majority of that wreck was off the racetrack. No danger to the cars on track. We stay green at Daytona, but we are gonna take a look at a replay. So you're gonna see it here. Oh, and right there, I think that was the 40. I think it was the 43, or actually, it might be a custom number. Might not actually be the 43, which would be very annoying. Oh no, it is a 43. So William Dunn gonna be at the center of it. Take a look here. It started up front when a couple of guys got a little bit squirrely. We're taking a look at the blimp cam right now. William Dunn, you see him there in the middle. It might have just been he clears himself, or it might have been a bad bump. We're gonna see it here. Oh yeah, they start stacking up. Yeah, they start stacking up off the 18. Dunn gets tagged around by the 07 into that guy on the inside. The 78 gets crowded up into Terrabuck. They all start wrecking. Everyone's scrambling to avoid him. But in the end, because it was all off the racetrack, we do stay green at Daytona. Up front, Brent McCoy leading the way. And a side effect of that wreck, it does mean that we have a bit of a breakaway up front. And on one hand, we're going to have less cars contending for the win, but on the other hand, there's going to be a lot more room for these guys to move around and make some passes. So I actually am going to take that as a little bit of a positive here, because we've thinned out the field, and there's a lot more room for these guys to make a move.
Yeah, but as I was saying before all that chaos ensued, I was talking about how I'm unable to listen to the radio chatter, but I can't confirm this or not. But I seem to believe that temperatures, unlike the VRCRA race we watched a week ago, temperatures don't seem to be a huge deciding factor here.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, everyone in this league has a lot of respect for each other, so I think that when you have incidents like that, I mean, it's a close-knit group of guys, so I think that in the end, everyone just kind of understands that it was a racing deal. Just kind of a byproduct of having a more local league with a lot tighter-knit group of guys. I mean, I think we see in some of the bigger leagues that are a little bit more public, that a lot of people just tend to not really know each other too much, not have a ton of respect for each other, and it's understandable. But in a league like this, I think everyone just kind of knows each other. Oh, a little bit of a door slam there out of the 14. We got trouble. They're
Big
going
wreck,
around.
big wreck.
They're crashing, and I believe that is going to bring out a caution. Caution is out. So just after the chaos kicked off up front, we have another wreck here, and that is going to bail out the field from making green flag pit stops. But it all started when the 14 shot up the track, and that's what kicked it off.
I think he grabbed the apron a little bit there.
Yeah, but the first caution of the night is out. We're going to go ahead and take a look at a replay. It's going to start here in turns 1 and 2. I was just saying that I think we've thinned out the field, so there's going to be a lot more room for these guys to move around. But that did not appear to pan out like I thought it would. So watch it. Oh yeah, the 14 just kind of shoots up the track, gets into the 88 of Dwell. Maybe a little bit of netcode sends the 26 up and in the wall, and unfortunately my pick gets sent into the 31, and that's what kicks it off. Ethan Lane. Yeah, and it's continue on.
I don't know why. I don't know what caused the 14 to be up so far off the double yellow there. I wonder if he was just trying to stay on the lead car's bumper. No, he just kind of came up.
Well, we can take a look at it again. I have a feeling that he might have just maybe gotten a little bit tight going into turn 1. I mean, handling can definitely be an issue on these cars. We'll take a look at it here. Watch the 14 on the inside, on the bottom of your screen. First of all, Michael Dwell crowds it 3 wide through the middle, so a very impressive move by him. But that 14 car just drifts up the track into the 88, slams him into the 26, and that's what kicks it off. And unfortunately, they're going to come down the track into the 31 car of Jurgensen. It's going to send him back up the track, and I don't think there are any fast repairs in this series, so that might be the end of the night for that 31 car. Ethan Lane, though, able to keep it going, and take a look at that wreck avoidance out of the 80. I believe he is going to be able to shoot it up high, and clears the 31. Great job by Chris Ryan to stay out of the wreck. We'll go on board with him.
14 car had to have gotten tight there.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's going to be it. So take a look at this. On board with the 80 of Chris Ryan. He's going to see them wrecking here. I mean, I think you can see it start here when Dwell just kind of makes that risky move through the middle, and it all just kicks off. And watch for Ryan. He's going to hook a right. He checks up very smart, hooks a right, and gets clear of the 31. Ryan going to make it through the field, going to make it through the wreck. But that is going to be the first caution of the night. The field coming in for green flag pit stops, and a couple of drivers not taking tires. Going to be the first one off. We're going to step away for just a moment, and we will be back live for the green flag. And we're back live at Daytona. Lights are out on the pace car for our first caution of the night, our first and only caution Out of 72 laps of racing, we're going to go back green on lap 73 with John Pylon leading the field. Brent McCoy in second and Michael Dewell in third. Pylon, your leader by virtue of pit stops. Because I believe that he did not take tires when he came in to stop. So we'll see how that affects the handling on that race car. But we're going to be going back green this time by on lap 73, just under 30 laps remaining at Daytona. Isaac, now that a couple of the strong cars have been taken out, are you still going to take that one car for the win?
I sure am, because you just said this is going to be the one and only caution of the night, so I'm pretty sure you just jinxed
Well, no,
the
I
field
said
again.
first. I said first and only so far. I should have added so far because it
You
is our.
didn't say so far, so they're going to wreck again.
Oh no. Well, unfortunately, I have jinxed the field. Get ready for 25 overtime finishes. Here we go. Coming back green this time by, it's going to be Brent McCoy and Pylon leading the field back to green at Daytona. First restart of the night.
How aggressive do you think these guys are going to be these final 30 laps?
I have a feeling they're going to be aggressive. I mean, it's go time, basically. You gotta... It might not be go time to get the lead, but you gotta start putting yourself in a position where you can try and take the lead once it comes down to those last laps. Here we go for the restart at Daytona. Pylon leading, McCoy in second. Pace car is off. Green flag is back out. We're back racing. Everyone's scrambling just a little bit off the start. Couple of guys moving down low. That inside line way more organized than the high line. McCoy going to be in trouble here up top. John Pylon leading him down through turns 1 and 2 with a big push coming from Dewell. They're going to have the lead here.
No, another guy we haven't really talked about tonight is that 48 car. He's peeking out pretty wide a little bit there.
And here goes Dewell to the high side. Pylon not able to block in that outside lane. Now organized going down the back. Michael Dewell going to take the lead at Daytona. Oh, but he wasn't. Oh,
not quite clear. Oh,
yikes! That got close. Dewell had to crowd down the
huge break.
Yeah, I mean, he had to crowd down the racetrack. Dewell is blocking all over the place, and I have a feeling the field isn't going to take that for much longer. At the moment, though, everyone playing nice. Lap 74 of 100, about 27 laps remaining. Through turns 1 and 2, Pylon still in the lead. Tires clearly not being big enough of a factor for him to fall back. He is leading over the 17 of, okay, I don't know how to pronounce that last name. We're going to call him Neil. 17 of Neil on the inside, giving a big shove to the 88 of Dewell. Down the back straightaway and coming to lap 75, it's still Dewell leading the high side. Pylon on the inside. And oh my goodness, McCoy moving around quite a bit. Maybe looking to make a third line up there, but at the moment he is hanging tight. Oh, there he goes! Dewell with a big block!
Oh, hang on to it!
Yeah, he's in the wall. They're shuffling around the pack. 3 wide down the front straightaway. It got very sketchy indeed, but they sorted it out. Dewell shuffling to the back pylon of the lead.
36 laps remaining are making these guys get a little too squirrely.
And here comes that 17 car of Neil on the high side. Now Jacob Fife to the inside. I haven't talked about him all race, but now he is in a position to try and take the lead here, giving a big shove to your race leader.
You know, one of the things I haven't really talked about is that going into these corners, you see a lot of these guys jump almost to the middle lane like they're super tight. So I wonder why a lot of these guys didn't really take tires.
Yeah, I mean, these Xfinity cars, they have a tendency to get tight over a long run, but you never really expect it to affect the handling at Daytona. But I mean, we've seen in years past in both the Cup Series, the Xfinity Series, pretty much every series, that handling does play a factor in the finishing result here at Daytona. And by the way, don't look now, but Abby Winters is back up into the 8th spot. That 66 car making a charge back through the field. Up front, though, Neil on the high side with a big shove from Brent McCoy. That 17 Dude Wipes Chevrolet trying to take the lead from that inside line. Off to down the back for the 76th time tonight. 25 laps remaining at Daytona. Oh, they're shuffling again, though. McCoy to the middle. That 17 car got shuffled out to the high side, and here comes Brent McCoy through the middle.
Yeah, I think that 17 car was a recipient of a not-so-kind push from the 29 of McCoy.
And look at how far that's going to shuffle him back all the way to the end of this lead pack. But racing is picking up at Daytona. The field getting more aggressive. Only one caution so far. Might not be the only one, though. That outside line got a bit of a 2-car tandem going. We'll see what they're able to do here off 2.
that outside line's a lot less organized than that inside line. That sure they might be a bit closer together right there, but
Yeah, big
it's
run, though. Big
Daytona.
run coming from the outside. Watch for McCoy. Big push coming from
Ooh.
Dewell. Isaac, back to you.
66 car looked like he was backing up him and Johnson there on the inside line, trying to give him a little bit of space. Maybe he sees something that we don't, maybe sensing a wreck or something.
Here they come off turn 2. I don't know who you're referring to with Johnson. I believe that's your own
14.
last name. Who?
14 car.
14?
14 car.
14 car. Charles Johnson, I found him. All right, I see who you mean now. But on the high line, Brent McCoy getting a run here with the 88 of Michael Dewell on the high line. It's Pylon Fife on the inside and McCoy Dewell on the high line. 23 laps remaining. The sun has gone down completely at Daytona. We are under complete darkness. It's getting very sketchy indeed. You saw the field crowd into each other off two. 2 wide down the back straightaway. It might be 3 soon. Through turns 3 and 4, Dewell, he's very aggressive as we get towards the closing stages of this race. He's got enough room to hop 3 wide on the high line. Is he going to make it work, though? Not quite. Both lines about equally organized, but now that outside line is going to have the strength in numbers. 22 laps remaining here at Daytona. A lot of times in real life, we'll see people reserve their moves until the last laps. Here, they are going all out with over 20 to go.
I mean, if this is what we're seeing 20 to go, I'd hate to see what they're doing on the last lap.
I have a feeling 4 wide might play a part in it. Down the back straightaway, a lot of pushing and shoving. Oh, you saw Pylon getting a little bit loose there. That outside line going to have an advantage going through 3 and 4 because of that inside line just getting a little bit of a wiggle. But that inside line now starting to organize a lot more than that outside line. Coming to lap 80 of 103 wide in the back.
Again, that outside line just doesn't have the same amount of cars, and they're not quite as close and as straight together as they are on the inside.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really just worried for when this, when push comes to shove and we have one car spinning around, because one car spinning could cause a domino effect that might not end very well. I have a feeling that torn sheet metal is going to be on the horizon if we keep this up, and you see Jacob Fife hopping out down the back.
Yeah, I think he's had it with the running up front there with how they were starting to race each other.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah, I think that he's seen enough. He is going straight to the back. Up at the front, Brent McCoy now leading over Michael Dewell, who is in prime position to make a move for the lead if he so chooses. And I have a feeling that he is going to make the move to the outside. Here he goes. Those 3 Chevrolets on the high line starting to get organized. 20 laps to go here at Daytona. Green so far, save for the 1 caution. Now that Oreo 8 machine of Jordan Gonzalez, haven't talked about him all race, is up in the mix. Lap car in the way. Uh-oh. Looks like they're going to get it sorted, though. Everyone's splitting the middle.
Yeah, that lapper went to the inside again. I don't know if they have a preference or if they're more comfortable running the inside when they're being lapped, but that's kind of an odd decision at a super speedway.
I mean, to be fair, I can understand it, because if you're not too comfortable running that close to the wall, you definitely don't want to hit the wall and come down into the field. But at the same time, it's a lot harder for guys to crowd up the track than it is to crowd down the track.
And again, that was the back straightaway, so he could have very well just gone below the double yellow when we couldn't see him and just made it very easy for this pack to get around him.
That too. They definitely caught him in a bit of an awkward spot. But here they come through turns 1 and 2. 19 laps remaining. We're still just ticking off the laps here. No more green flag pit stops. We're in the clear for that. Man, this is getting very intense.
I wonder how long it is until my pick, the number 1 car of Patton, jumps to the high side and maybe has a friend with him this time to try and, you know,
well,
get a little bit of action up there, as we got a couple cars jumping up there.
You know what? Why don't we get a Brad Patton update? We're on board with him now. He's stuck in the middle 3 wide. Not really anywhere to go. Maybe just trying to follow that high line. Maybe trying to just jump up there if he gets the chance. He's back to 2 wide on the outside. Patton is... Yeah, here he goes. Here he goes. He's lining up a run.
He wants to lead the charge.
Yeah, he doesn't want to stay back there for long. 3 wide at the back, off 2 though. It's still Brent McCoy leading. We saw him leading early on. He is leading late in the going. 18 laps remaining at Daytona. So far, we have not seen a big one. We've not seen that many cars taken out. I believe we only have a handful of retirements actually, and one of them is an admin. So I think we only have 3 retirements, with one of them just in the pit lane.
Patton needs those 2 guys that were just with him to stay locked on his bumper and give him that push he needs to get around some of these.
Oh, 3 wide to the front, 3 wide to the front. Couple of guys looking up high. They're back to 2 wide. There they go. That 17 car moving up high. That Dude Wipes Chevrolet is getting aggressive here late in the going. 17 laps remaining at Daytona. This is some great racing going on right now. So far, from what I've seen, you need someone to help you if you're going to make that move. Isaac, back to you.
Dwell's starting to drop on that high line. He's lost about 3 car lengths on the leader of McCoy. Wonder if it has something to do with him running out of cars on the top line, as I only see about 5.
Yeah, I mean, that could definitely be it. Off turn 4 here. Michael Dwell, though, charging up a bit of a run. That Highline is just able to arc it off the corner a lot more, and they're able to get a huge run, especially off turn 4 and off the tri-oval. You are just able to get so much more momentum up there. And speak of the devil, here comes Michael Dwell on the high side, pulling even with Brent McCoy. Going to turn 1, he's going to have the lead.
Yeah, now that Highline's gotten organized, as they're able to mount a charge on McCoy, as Dwell's going to try and side draft him down the back straightaway here and see if he can just barely edge his nose out coming across the start-finish line.
Yeah, side drafting doesn't tend to go well, especially if netcode proves to be unreliable. Okay, that got sketchy.
Bad push.
Yeah, bad push out of the 18 sends Dwell sideways. They all save it. And there's your pick. That 1 car Patton coming up high.
He's got a car close behind him. I wonder. Oh, now 4 in line up top, 3 in line up top. They're going to be.
Well, now it's 4 in line up top because the 07's coming to help. Never mind, he's going to drop back down.
He's deciding still if he wants to test the waters up on the high side. But, yeah, it looks like they're going to be able to mount a half-decent run here, get fairly close to the front of the field, if not run parallel with the front 2 cars.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a risky move to go up there 3 wide. There's just not a lot of space between the car and the inside on the wall. You know, if this was Talladega, there would be a lot more room between these guys, but it's Daytona. It's a lot narrower. You can barely fit 3 wide. 4 wide is just asking for trouble. So, we'll see how this goes. I mean, I think that aggressive moves are going to have to stay within the confines of 3 wide. Speaking of 3 wide, they are 3. Oh, we got a couple of cars around. Big crash.
Oh, still
It's the big one.
Massive accident. Double zeros flipping.
I knew they couldn't race like that for long. It's the big one at Daytona. Caitlin Hyde flipping in turns 3 and 4. Huge crash. Going to take out a handful of cars for our 2nd caution of the night.
I didn't even see what caused that.
I didn't either. I mean, I saw a lot of shuffling at the front. I saw them 3 wide, and the next thing I know, we got a couple of cars going around to the back. But overall, a disastrous wreck here at Daytona. It's going to take out a lot of cars. Patton, your pick made it through for a the majority of the wreck was contained at the back of the field. We'll take a look at a replay. So this should give us a good idea. And you can see they're just all stacked up going into turn 3, and it looks like it started with a 3 car, and Abby Winters got sideways individually. But you're gonna see that 36 Jacob Fife piles into the double zero. They just keep wrecking. And by the way, I don't think it was the double zero going over, although it might have been later on in the wreck. Oh no, it was that double zero on its side. Yeah, not a pretty wreck. Not pretty at all. I think it all started with that 3 car.
Yeah, I thought he flipped. It was very close to flipping.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take a look at the 3 car of Mark Robertson, because I believe it all started around him. We'll back it up 30 seconds, see what happens. That 3 car on the right-hand side of your screen, Abby Winters got loose as well, but I believe that was a separate incident. We're going to slow it down here and analyze going into turn 3. So
Also
Abby...
looked like they just grabbed the apron.
Yeah, so I think Abby Winters grabbed the apron, and that's what got him sideways. But looking back in the pack, that 34 car maybe gives a little bit of a netcode tap to the 3. Although that 3 car grabs the apron pretty much individually. It was kind of two separate. Yeah. I mean, it was kind of 2 separate wrecks if you really think about it. You're going to see that 3 car going into the outside wall, plowing the wall in front of the 34 as well. And then up front here, the 14 car gets crowded into the 07, which pushes them both into the wall. So 2 individual wrecks. We're going to pause it here and just kind of analyze it. You see, the 07 of Eric Crow gets pushed into the wall. A couple of cars get pushed down low like Charles Johnson. They both save it, though. I mean, the main part of the wreck was back here around the 00 of Caitlin Height. One more look at it. Watch the green 3.
Hey, are we one to go yet?
I believe we might be, so this is going to be the last time we get to look at a replay. But yeah, the 3 and the 34 pile onto the wall, and it's on from there. We'll go back live. William, our scoring is a little bit messed up. All right, here we go. Brent McCoy, going to be your leader coming back to green, but since we are not 1 to green, we're going to step away for just a moment, and we will be right back for the restart. All right, we're back live. I've hydrated. I'm ready for the restart. I think Isaac's back as well. Brent McCoy going to line up as your leader. John Pylon on the outside lane. Before we go back green, by the way, a quick thank you to the league sponsors, Pro, Powder, and Paint. Back green this time by Brent McCoy going to lead the field over John Pylon, who stayed out, or didn't stay out. He pitted but didn't take tires. That's what gave him the track position. He's been hanging on ever since. Those 4 cars right there, the 4 you see on your screen, those have been some of the fastest all race, with Pylon coming in at the end of it. Michael Duell, one of the most aggressive all race, watch for him. Brent McCoy, one of the most consistent all race, and Brad Patton, he is, I don't know what Brad's going to do. He's a little bit unpredictable here, but I think that he is going to do what it takes to get the job done.
He is the wild card.
All right, final picks for the race. Isaac, are you sticking with the 1 car?
Yeah, I mean, again, later in these races, these guys are going to get a lot more aggressive. They're going to have a lot more of a want to get up to the front, and Patton's going to be the guy who's going to give them that, because he's going to be the one jumping outside first. He's going to be pushing some guy who maybe also jumped outside, and they're going to have the confidence that he's going to stay there and just lead the charge.
That's a good pick. I'm going to go ahead and take Michael Duell. We'll ride on board with him for this restart. I think Michael, he's just been aggressive enough all race, but not too aggressive to cause any wrecks. I think that Duell, he's going to have a decent shot at the win here, but I have a feeling it might be a checkers or record situation. Here we go. Pace car is off. Brent McCoy, your race leader. Duell in 3rd. Green flag is back out. Lights are out. Here we go.
12-lap shootout.
It's going to be close. Headed towards turn 1 now. Everybody's shuffling around in the back, but it's Brent McCoy leading. Michael Duell with the push. 11 laps remaining at Daytona. Through turns 1 and 2. McCoy over Duell on the inside. Pylon leading the outside. Everyone shuffling around, trying to get air on the nose. Towards turn 3 now. 2 by 2 throughout a majority of the field, with a couple of guys trying to make it 3 up top.
I guess he was the one leading that charge, trying to make it outside. 3.
Yeah, you see the 1 car of Brent McCoy on the high line. He's got enough space to do it if he wants to. That's been one of his favorite moves all race. We're coming to 10 to go. It is officially crunch time at Daytona.
I believe you meant Patton there.
I did mean Patton. Sorry about that. But it's crunch time at Daytona. You see Patton trying to make that high line work. Everyone's shuffling back in line. It's a Chevy and a Mustang, 1-2 right now. No Supras in the mix. So I'm not too sure if we're going to... Oh, okay. Pylon got very loose off the bumper of that 18 car. I think we've seen for a while now that 18 has not been the best pusher. You don't really want to have him behind you. Down the back straightaway, though, that 18 car going to be shoving that 10 car towards turn 3. Pylon on the outside of McCoy with Duell on the inside. Headed towards turn number 3. The outside line grouped up just about as much as the inside, coming to 9 to go. It's going to get closer and closer as we get to the finish here. Most of your fast cars still in the mix. We've gotten a decent chunk of cars to the end of the race here, despite a few crashes along the way. The field barreling through turns 1 and 2. McCoy leading him away. Duell in second on the inside. Isaac, over to you.
Yeah, I just have a feeling these guys are going to be waiting this one out, trying to wait till the last second to make their move here, and whether that move might be a 4 wide causing a big one again, or...
Oh, okay, they're getting squirrely
Line.
again. Yeah, this is getting a little sketchy here. A couple of the TMG branded cars on the inside line. You see that? You see that logo on the B pillar, or is that the C pillar? I don't know which one it is.
That is the C pillar.
I said C pillar. Down the front straightaway, or through the tri-oval rather. I believe those two on the inside might be teammates trying to organize a run here. 2 and 3 wide throughout a majority of the pack. A couple of guys trying that high line. Just a little bit of experimentation going on. Everyone gonna duck back in line.
Third line starting to develop here is very interesting to see the one-car Patton not being the one leading that charge. I believe that was that the 51 car who led that? Oh, never mind, we're 3 wide.
Here we go, that 18 car going up high. I can now confirm, by the way, that the 88 and the 24 on the inside are teammates, so look for them to work together late in the going here. Meanwhile, that lime green car hopping up to the high side. I believe that's Robbie Audi going for the lead on the outside, but he's not going to have any help. He's going to be strung out to dry. The 51, his teammate, or his helper, ducks down back inside for the lead. Brent McCoy over Dwell and Pylon. And a lap car going to be in the mix as well. Uh-oh.
Oh, lap car in the mix.
Keep it together, y'all.
Got a car.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, they're gonna go 4 wide. They're gonna. They make it through.
Threading the needle there.
Everybody made it through down the back straightaway. Pylon leading. Here comes the 51 of Whatmore. The 90 coming back on the outside. Or sorry, the 60 coming back on the outside. Audi made that charge to the outside twice. He's gonna try it again. Now watch for the 1. Coming to 6 to go. Oh, they're wrecking 8 car on the wall. They're crashing on the front straightaway. Piling up as they come off turn number 4. The big one strikes again. No caution. Now that's going to bring it out. Jacob Fife going around. Big crash on the front straightaway. The yellow flag is out.
Oh.
A massive crash. Yeah, a couple of ARCA brakes. And that 07 car just has to come to a stop. That's a track blocker right there.
That was, what, 10 cars?
That was a lot of cars. At the time of caution, it was Brent McCoy in the lead, and I think we saw the cause of it live. That 8 car tried to crowd the guy on his inside up into the wall, and unfortunately, they all went around and collected a lot of others. We'll take a look at a replay. Now it's a little bit too recent. Let's try again. Here we go. So they're going to come around the lap car here, and I think that might have started to stack him up, but watch for that bright blue Oreo 8 car on the inside. He's going to move up. He's going to move up top. They're shuffling quite a bit for the lead. Gonzalez going to shuffle Audi up towards the wall. It's going to happen right here. We'll slow it down for you. Maybe just got a little bit tight. Maybe got a little bit of contact from the inside. But in the end, the result was the same. Gonzalez maybe thought he was clear. Maybe thought he had more room to work with.
Yeah, he was clear. He was clear at the start of when he started to come up. But I think I can't tell if he was trying to block it or if he was trying to jump up with those guys.
Yeah.
He wanted to go. But either way, it ended up terribly and took out a lot of cars.
And they end up piling down into the 49 and the 80. Fife involved in the 36. They all start wrecking towards the inside line. A lot of these guys just had absolutely nowhere to go. Crucially, though...
ARCA break the heck out of the guy in front of him.
Yeah, and I mean, crucially, though, they started going back up the track. I mean, you see Gonzalez going back up. They're going to pile back up, and that's what really blocks the racetrack. A little bit more contact in the back. I believe that's an Exalta car getting sent around right behind Fife. I mean, overall, it was just a lot of cars collected. But overall, those fast cars at the front of the field are still staying intact. Oh, and yeah, you're going to see right there. Yeah,
that orange car.
Yeah, I think one guy came down and just took out the 36 of Fife. And that piled in a lot more drivers. One more look at it. So right here, watch for the 36 of Jacob Fife.
Man, he hit that wall hard.
Yeah, he might have even gotten piled into by the 18 car. I mean, we've seen him be at the center of a couple of incidents throughout the race, but we've never seen him really push a guy around like that. But unfortunately, I think that might have just been one incident too many. That's going to plow them both up. Yeah, that was the 18 car. We've seen him been involved in quite a bit of stuff tonight. So a big crash on lap 97 is going to set us up for one final, or hopefully one final restart. Lights are still on the pace car, so we're going to go back green next time by. You see that 4 car getting the wave around on the high line. All right, Isaac, we're going to have under 5 laps to go. What do you think is going to happen on this restart?
Well, again, my pick's still in the top 5, so I'm still gonna have to go with him. Another guy, the 51 of Wetmore, is doing a fantastic job. He was kind of around where that wreck started and found his way through, just mighty fine dandy. You know, not a whole lot of scratches on that pristine-looking Toyota Supra, so I'm also gonna have to. I might have a backup pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only issue there is that Wetmore is one of the only Supras in the field and probably the only Supra on the top 10. So if anyone's looking to go with the same manufacturer that they're in, that's probably not going to pan out for Wetmore very well. There are a lot of Chevys. They've got the strength in numbers. I mean, really, if we're talking strictly manufacturer alliances, Chevrolet has got this in the bag. However, I'm guessing that a lot of these guys are going to want to go with their teammates, are going to want to go with guys that they know that they can trust. And I don't really know how well people trust Wetmore on super speedways, so we'll see how this goes. We're coming around to a restart with 3 laps remaining. I think it's going to be 2 laps remaining, so we're going to have a green-white checkered without overtime needed. It's going to be close coming to the end. Abby Winters back in the top 10 as well. Everyone going to start to double file here. This is going to be very close. Dare I say, I think we're setting up for a photo finish. Lights are out. We're going to go back green this time by. The winner of this race is going to have a lot of momentum going into next week's race at the Daytona road course. Which, by the way, you can catch same time, same place here on TMG. That'll be the 1 hour of the Daytona road course. That race is going to be measured in time along with the rest of the road course races this season rather than laps.
I think I like that format a bit more than standard laps.
Yeah, I'm kind of indifferent on it. I think that for the most part, you're going to end up with races that are around an hour anyways. But here we go. Brent McCoy going to lead the field to green. On the outside of him, John Pylon in the 10. It's going to be a free-for-all coming to the line, or will it? A couple of these guys might want to go with their teammates. Watch for the 24 and the 88. Their teammates in the top 5. That'll be Dewell and Schetzler. That one car, by the way, still looking strong. Brad Patton might not be a terrible pick. We saw him be very strong at Atlanta on the short runs, and we're going to have a very, very short run to the end here. Now, of course, that doesn't entirely translate over. However, I think a lot of the same principles are going to apply.
Yeah, I think right now it's just going to be finding who you know has been doing very well this race and who you can trust to push you or be, following. But, yeah, this is just going to be essentially a battle of wit and who's going to make the bigger move.
Exactly. Coming up on 250 miles completed. That'll be once we reach that lap 100 mark. Pace car going to be off this time by Brent McCoy. Going to lead the field to green. He's been one of the best drivers all night. He's been consistently the best driver all night. However, that doesn't necessarily translate to a win. We saw that in the 500. We might see it again tonight. Pace car is off. Green flag is out. We're back racing. 2-lap shootout to the end to decide the winner. Here we go. And that outside line a lot less organized than the inside. The inside got a great jump. Dewell, McCoy leading away now. Here comes Dewell to the high side. Big block out of McCoy. They're both back to the bottom. In the end, that didn't really take him anywhere. Now here comes the one of Patton trying to get a run to Dewell. Fife getting up to speed on the apron.
His nose underneath there and dump him.
Yeah, that could have been very bad. In the end, they're deciding to play it nice, and this is getting sketchy down the back. 3 wide. Dewell back in line. Here comes Patton to the middle. Contact.
They ain't making it back to the start-finish line.
Yeah, this is going to get sketchy. Patton to the middle. They're crowding 3 wide, and there they go. They're wrecking. Big crash in 3 and 4. Caution is out again. They're piling into each other. A massive crash in the middle of 3 and 4. The 69 involved. Big crash in the closing stages of the race. That was not pretty, and I think we could have predicted it. We'll have to check the... Yeah, we'll have to check the overtime rules here. But I believe that we're going to have attempts at a green-white checkered. Yeah, we got 3 green-white checkered attempts. But that was not pretty. John Pylon going to be the leader at the time of caution. A lot of cars torn up. Not Brad Patton, though. Your pick's still in it.
I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to be putting blame on someone here, but I believe McCoy could have been a little bit less aggressive that time around.
We'll take a look at a replay. I think in the end it was just jockeying for spots. And yeah, you can see by then everyone... Man, what a hard hit by the 88 there. That was one of my picks to win the race. It was a brutal crash on the back straightaway. But we'll take a look at a replay. You're going to see it here. It all got set up when they started shuffling going into turn number 1. The 88 car of Dewell going high and back low, giving a big shove from Patton. They were bump drafting in the corners. That never ends well. And this is what ended up taking out a bunch of cars. Going down the back straightaway, Dewell looks high, gets blocked. But unfortunately, that's going to send the 29 down the racetrack. Dwell is now stuck in the middle. He shuffles down the track. That one car of Patton goes back to the middle. Dwell gets loose, sends it into the grass. And this is where it all kicks off. He's going to have to come back up the racetrack. But watch that 51 car of Wetmore. Wetmore's going to send it to the middle. Pylon sticks it up high. And watch this. Oh, actually, that's not even where it started. It all started because the 24 of Schetzler gets turned by the one of Patton.
I think he came down trying to follow Wetmore and wasn't clear.
That might have been it as well, and that's going to turn the 29 up into the 51, and it sends off a chain reaction, taking out loads of cars behind.
You know,
Carry on. And you see right there, Dwell slams the wall, and a shower of sparks. They continue to wreck. Only a few cars made it through. McCoy makes it through. Winters makes it through, but with heavy damage. A couple of cars sent it to the grass to make it through. And the 18 car, one of the faster cars in this race, Cody Smith makes it through. So does the 26 of Ethan Lane. But now we're in a situation with a lot of torn up race cars. A lot of modifieds in the top 10 as well. We'll go ahead and go through and count the cars that aren't damaged. You see John Pylon relatively clean. Brad Patton relatively clean. Abby Winters missing a front end. Kevin Matz. There's actually one car in the top 10 kind of crab walking down the back straightaway. That the toe is very obviously knocked out of it, but he is a lap down. Kevin Matz also bent up on the front end. Cody Smith bent up on the front end. Michael Dwell lacking a front bumper. He's in a modified. Ethan Lane currently in the pit lane. Chris Ryan, that's the car with the toe knocked out of it. Robbie Audi without a front end. Mark Love without a front end. Daniel Williamson on the high line with a bent up front end. So a lot of cars messed up here coming to the end. But I think we're going to get our first attempt at a green-white checkered. First caution of the night. Fourth caution of the night. A lot of cars having to bring it down into the pit lane.
Sorry about the little cutoff there. My push-to-talk stopped working.
But you see right here the 80 of Chris Ryan. We can go ahead and take a look at the screenshot camera. The toe is completely knocked out of it. Yeah, I mean, he's basically driving sideways in a straight line. That's never something you want to see. But back up at the front, John Pylon. Going to lead the field back to green. This is going to be intense. I think that we have turned this race from a long green run to the end into an absolute slugfest, but I think in the best way possible. We've seen a lot of wreck avoidance come into it. A couple of people calling out ARCA brakes in the chat. One lap to green this time by. I hope this is going to be our final restart, but if not, we have more attempts at a green-white checkered if needed. Abby Winters, lacking a front bumper, going to restart first in the inside line. That outside line going to be in prime position to take the lead. But in the end, a car without a front bumper could very well take the win here. I mean, I know that aero matters a lot at Daytona, but if you have a good pusher or if a lot of cars end up wrecking, you never know what's going to happen. Isaac, final picks for the win here, or are you still going to stick with that one car?
I mean, at this point, aero at this point in the race could be thrown out the window with how many cars are torn up around here. Everyone's going to be pretty much in the same boat. But, I mean, still, again, Patton's the one who's been showing the most aggression, the most willing to make new lines happen, the most willing to make runs, like see runs through. But, I mean, the 10 car of Pylon's still a very, very good contender.
All right, I'm going to go a little bit unpredictable here. I'm going to go and take the 9 car of Daniel Williamson. He's one of the least damaged cars in the field. He's got a super teammate right behind him if they want to work together. I have a feeling that it's going to be Daniel Williamson taking the win. But here we go. Pylon, your leader. Pace car is off. Lights are going to come on at the top of your screen indicating we are back green at Daytona. And you see already Dwell hopping out of line in the modified, going to the back below the apron. That high line all the way to the front of the field. Look at Brad Patton going to take the lead with Williamson.
Yeah, a lot of those damaged cars are jumping out of the line there to give the, be courteous to the cars who aren't so damaged. But, yeah, still a lot of very torn up race cars up here as this 2-car tandem on the outside is going to be running away. Yeah,
I don't know if Abby Winters is going to make a charge out of here, but here they come down the back straightaway. I mean, maybe Winters can have a shot at it, but I think we're going to make it around to the white cleanly. Brad Patton on the high line. Williamson right behind. Pylon still on the inside, trying to hold on. Not going to make it work, though.
3 wide.
Patton and Williamson coming up top. Here comes Winter on the bottom. 3 wide for second. Pylon far out front. Can Winters make the move? Abby Winters looking. Big shove coming from the 18. Now the 9 of Williamson coming on the high line. White flag, 1 to go.
I don't think Winters can make anything happen with missing a front bumper like that, but he can probably still push just fine.
And there goes Smith to the high side. Cody Smith up top. Williamson to join. That 10 car of Pylon going to control the lanes here at Daytona. Can anyone get a run? I think if any line's going to do it, it's going to be up top. The 18 of Cody Smith with Williamson. Going to get a run down the back. Winters staying in the middle. 3 wide. Going to 3. Winters up top. Sending the 18 of Smith out
There
wide.
goes
3, 4
Patton.
wide down the back. Patton to the inside. Towards turn 3. Brad Patton with the run. Is he going to try and make a move? He can lag back to his teammate. Or not his teammate, but he can lag back to the 17. Here they come off turn 4 to the line. Pylon. Gonna have the run. Gonna have the advantage.
The high side.
Patton with the run. Coming to the line.
Gonna be
Here they come to the line. They're
Wrecking.
wrecking behind. Pylon's gonna win at Daytona. What a race to the end. John Pylon taking the win over Patton and Frolic. They wrecked behind him, but in the end, it's the clean car who started the restart in first is going to come away with the victory at Daytona. He is going to kick off the Integrity Racing season with a win. Great job by Pylon. I mean, he played the strategy right. He was able to get the track position, didn't look back since. John Pylon, your winner at Daytona.
I didn't expect that at all.
And how about Abigail Winters with a top 6 in basically a modified, no front end on that car, and Winters brings it home P6. But it's John Pylon coming away with the victory, an absolutely incredible victory, able to hold off the field. What a great way to start the season. That's gotten me very excited for what's to come. And we're going to have some more chaos next week at the Daytona Road Course. That's still a place that I think a lot of these guys haven't figured out yet. Uh-oh, John. Oh, you're going to hit the wall, aren't you? Oh, we figured it out. All right. Well, Pylon's going to burn it down at Daytona in the grass, although I think he's going a little bit too fast. He's got to get that wheel spin charged up. There he goes. But John Pylon burns it down, winner of Race 1 of the Integrity Racing League season. A great way to start off the season as well, with a chaotic race all the way to the finish. I've got to say, I enjoyed commentating over that one. Isaac, I hope you did as well. Although I'm not sure if Pylon knows how to do burnouts here. He's working on it, though. He's working on it. He might just bring it back into his pit stall. But man,
Yeah, that was a really good race. We had some green flag pit stops. We had some bonsai moves. We had some bad blocks.
Yeah.
We had some just random netcode incidents. We had some big ones. We had some small ones.
It was wild. It was wild. I mean, all the way to the end here. I mean, take a look at this finish, by the way. We're going to analyze it. You see, I think Patton had the right idea. He was going to lag back to his teammate, but I mean, he just couldn't get the run. Now, watch behind. Williamson shoots over to the inside. Winters gets turned. They're wrecking coming to the line. Pylon goes all the way low to cover off the run. One car almost flips coming to the line. But that was a wild finish at Daytona. One more look at it.
That was the 50 car going for that ride there.
Yeah, the 50 car of Matt's is going to get turned up and over at Daytona, coming to the line. You see the 69 goes low on Winters. Winters goes to block, covers off the inside, gets turned. Winters up into the wall, and that is what kicked off the wreck. You see the 50 of Matt's going up and over. The springs on that car absolutely extending. You see the wheels dropped all the way to the ground there. But in the end, they wreck to the line, and John Pylon comes away with your victory. We are going to go ahead and pull him up into the booth for interviews. And that is going to be how we're going to conclude this broadcast. All right, let's go ahead and pull him up. John, it's Jonathan Oates up in the DMG broadcast booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, man, that was a great way to run the race. I mean, you started the green-white checkered in the lead. You were able to hold on. Walk us through those last couple of laps there.
Daytona is always wild, and it's a matter of where you want to put yourself at the end. I found myself on the outside on that second to last restart. We took a wild 3 wide down into 3, and I really don't know what happened behind me, but when I regained the lead, I held it, and I was able to drive to the finish.
Yeah, I mean, we saw there coming off turn 4 that the one car of Patton might have had a run there. He lagged back to the 17. I mean, was there ever really a doubt that you weren't going to be able to hold on to the line?
I'm a fan of the bottom if you have help behind you, and the top line just didn't have enough help to get around me. So it honestly made my job easy with the damaged cars out there.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, you were able to come away with the victory. Anyone you would like to thank for the result?
I just like to thank the league. I'm coming in here for my first race. Everybody kept it clean for the most part. You're going to have wrecks at the end, but I'm stoked and ready to keep going into the rest of the season.
Yeah, man. Well, huge congratulations on the victory today. Best of luck throughout the rest of the season, and we're going to go ahead and send you back.
Hope to talk to you guys more.
And that was driver the number 10, John Pylon. Next up, we're going to bring up second place finisher Brad Patton, who had a run coming to the line, but unfortunately just could not make the move work. We're going to go ahead and bring him up now. Oh, I put him in the wrong thing. Hold on, there we go. Brad, it's Jonathan Oates up in the TMG broadcast booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, at the end there, you were able to kind of get a run off turn 4. You lagged back to the 17. What was your plan there coming off turn 4 to try and get the victory?
In all honesty, I was just going for points. If I would have got the win, I was going to be happy with that. But finishing P2, starting off 2021 season here, I'm happy with the P2. Congrats to John for the win. Can't say any more about that, really.
Yeah, I mean, really, throughout the entirety of the last couple of restarts there, we saw that you had one of the fastest cars and were willing to make some pretty aggressive moves. But do you think there's anything you could have done differently, maybe positioned yourself in a little bit of a different way on maybe that last lap or the lap before it to try and put yourself in a better spot to win?
I usually don't finish these races in integrity, so me finishing in the top 5, I was going to be happy, take the points, and get away from Daytona and then start the real season. But coming out P2, I'm happy. Earlier in the race, I came from the back, went up to the front. Seeing it was getting dicey, so I backed out of it. Thank God I did, because there was a wreck. And then I just kept doing that. And once I started noticing it was getting really aggressive, I would just back out and I'd let the wrecks happen. But on the last, 8 laps or 10 laps we had, or whatever, it was go time, and put myself in position to either A, win, which I didn't really care at this point, but just get points. Points is what matters, and points what puts you in championships.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, you were able to come away with a very strong top 5. What do you think this means for the rest of your season?
This is a great start. I'm just happy that I'm not 30. I'm usually starting about 35th for the season and try to work my way up. So starting P2, I'm ecstatic right now.
I mean, definitely a good run out there, and congratulations on the top 5. Anyone you would like to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank Pro Powder and Paint. I got to thank you guys for broadcasting this. I got to thank Depth Esports, Freshen Up Hydration, and Innovative Gear. And I got to give a shout out to my buddy Trevor Trago. He's running over an RSR right now, and hopefully he has a good finish as well.
All right, well, that's about all we got. Thank you for joining us, and we're going to go ahead and send you back.
Thank you.
That was driver of the number 1 car, Brad Patton. Next up, we're going to bring up Neil. I still can't pronounce that last name, so I guess I've got a question for him. We're going to go ahead and move him up into the booth. Neil, it's Jonathan Oates up in the TMG broadcast booth. You got us?
I gotcha.
Well, my first question for you is, how do you pronounce your last name?
It is pronounced Froelich.
All right, then. Neil Froelich, you're up at the TMG broadcast booth. On that last lap there, I mean, you were able to sneak your way into third. Looks like you might have had a run with Brad there coming to the start-finish line. Do you think there's anything you could have done to maybe either push him to the win or maybe get yourself the win?
Trying to get to his bumper, and I don't know if it was damage on my front end or what, but I just couldn't pull up to him, and we were running out of time. I was hoping they were going to get together and go into the grass, and I could pass them both on the high line.
I mean, in the end, it's a very strong result, a nice top 5, definitely not the win that you probably wanted, but definitely a good start to the season. Speaking of the season, what do you think that this is going to mean for maybe your championship hopes as the season goes on?
Well, the key is to have a good early part of the season, because field sizes are larger then, and you have a much bigger chance of losing points finishing at the bottom. So if I can continue to have decent to great finishes, I'll be right there at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's definitely important to get a good, strong start, and that's what you did today. Anyone you would like to thank for the result?
My teammates, Nick Tarabuck and Alan Roll, who isn't here tonight. We don't know where he is. He's AWOL. He never misses a race. Those are my 2 teammates, and nobody else really helped me. So can't really say anything good about the rest of the field.
All right, well, you did a great job out there. Congratulations on the top 5. We're going to go ahead and send you back.
Yeah, guys, thank you.
And that was Neil Froelich, driver of the number 17, who came home in third. We actually didn't talk about it much on that last lap, but he was almost able to push Brad to the victory. But in the end, that is going to do it for our coverage of the Integrity Racing League Race 1 at Daytona. Thank you all for coming along for the ride. We're going to see you next Monday night, same time, same place here on TMG for the Daytona Road Course 1 hour. Isaac, anything you'd like to say before we sign off?
Not really, just, you know the time, you know the place. Be there.
All right, well, we're going to see you all next weekend, or next week. Thank you all for joining us along for the ride. Congratulations to your race winner, John Pylon. We'll see you all next Monday. Goodbye, everybody.